The night it happened, the rain fell in sheets over a quiet Midwestern town in the United States, turning streetlights into blurry halos and memories into something harder to outrun. People would later say it was fate, or timing, or grace disguised as exhaustion, but at that moment it felt like nothing more than another reason for a girl to keep running. She had learned long ago that when people stared, it was never curiosity. It was always shock, pity, or disgust, so she ran before they could decide which one she deserved. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet miracles that change lives, take a moment right now to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this remind us that hearts can heal even when scars remain. Her name was Hannah Brooks, and at 24 she carried a past heavy enough to bend her shoulders forward. Years earlier, a house fire had taken everything from her childhood in one violent night. It stole her parents, her home, and left its mark across the left side of her face and neck. The doctors called it survival. Strangers called it something else with their eyes. Hannah learned to keep her head down, her hood up, and her life small. She worked nights cleaning offices because empty buildings were kinder than people, and she avoided mirrors unless absolutely necessary. In her world, safety meant invisibility. That evening, she had made the mistake of stopping at a small neighborhood grocery store just before closing. The cashier froze for a fraction of a second when Hannah looked up, and that tiny pause was enough to send panic flooding through her chest. The familiar heat of shame crawled up her neck, and before the receipt even printed, Hannah was already outside, rain soaking through her jacket as she walked faster, then faster, until walking became running. She did not notice the man struggling with grocery bags in the parking lot, or the little boy tugging at his coat until she collided with them. The bags spilled. Apples rolled across wet pavement. Hannah gasped, muttered an apology too soft to hear, and turned to flee again, her heart pounding with the certainty that she had ruined another moment just by existing. But this time, she did not get far. Michael Carter had learned how to move quickly when things went wrong. Being a single father to a 6-year-old boy named Noah had turned urgency into a habit. When he saw Hannah stumble, saw the way she folded into herself as if expecting a blow, something inside him reacted before thought could interfere. He set the bags down, ignored the rain soaking his sleeves, and caught up to her in a few long strides. Not roughly, not urgently, just enough to stop the spiral. Michael was not a man untouched by loss. 3 years earlier, cancer had taken his wife, leaving him with a grieving child and a heart that felt permanently bruised. He worked as a high school history teacher, holding himself together for his students and his son, telling himself that stability was enough. Love, he believed, was something that belonged to his past. Hannah froze when she felt arms around her, gentle but firm, anchoring her to the present. Every instinct screamed danger, judgment, rejection. She tried to pull away, shame burning hotter than the scars beneath her skin. Her face turned, and for the first time that night, Michael saw the damage the fire had left behind. The uneven texture, the faded red lines, the story written in skin rather than words. What he did not see was ugly. He saw survival. Michael held her anyway, rain running down his face as if the night itself was breathing with them. There was no recoil, no hesitation, just warmth. When he leaned forward and pressed a soft kiss against the edge of her scar, it was not romance that moved him, but reverence, a quiet acknowledgement that what she carried was not something to hide. Hannah's world cracked open in that instant. Years of bracing for impact dissolved into a sob she had been holding back since the fire. She cried there in the rain, shaking, while a stranger held her as if she were something precious instead of broken. Noah watched from a few steps away, wide-eyed and solemn, sensing that something important was happening even if he could not explain it. In the days that followed, Hannah tried to convince herself it had been a fluke. People did not change overnight. Kindness did not last. But Michael returned to the grocery store the next evening at the same time, and the one after that, until finally Hannah found herself waiting too. Their conversations grew slowly, built from shared silences and careful smiles. Michael never asked about the fire until Hannah was ready. He never flinched when she forgot to hide her scars. Noah accepted her with the uncomplicated trust only children possess, asking innocent questions and offering drawings colored too brightly for the gray days Hannah was used to. Challenges did not disappear. Hannah still struggled with mirrors and crowds. Michael still woke some nights reaching for someone who was no longer there. But together they learned how healing worked. It was not dramatic. It was showing up. It was sitting at a kitchen table in a small rented house while Noah did homework. It was Hannah daring to apply for a daytime job, and Michael waiting outside the interview building just in case she needed him. The town that once felt suffocating began to soften around the edges. Familiar faces learned Hannah's name. Some still stared, but others smiled. Slowly, she stopped running. Near the end of summer, Hannah stood in front of a mirror without turning away. The scars were still there. They always would be. But they no longer told the whole story. They were chapters, not conclusions. If this story has touched your heart even a little, please take a moment now to like the video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who believes in hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach people who need them most. Before the ending, here's a special request. Comment the word hope if you believe love can see beauty where the world once looked away. Hannah did not become fearless. Michael did not become perfect. But together, with a child who believed in superheroes and a love built on gentleness, they became something stronger than what had hurt them. In a world quick to look away, they chose to see each other fully, and that choice changed everything.